In supplementary weft weaving, we have the supplementary yarn going to a back beam for different tension than the main colored threads to the front beam. It's threaded, as you see on this chart, with the foundation threads and the supplementary yarn. The foundation ones here and then the supplementary ones alternate. And in this system we have the supplementary warps in the same dent as one of the foundations. The tie-up is pretty simple, straightforward, and in the background where you have no pattern, the novelty yarns and the foundation yarns are alternated. And this is the direction of the shuttles. There's two different shuttles with the two different yarns. When you start into your pickup and pattern, then you pick up your groups of 4 threads, warps, and then you weave your novelty and foundation across. Then you pick up again, and you then have your novelty and foundation warps, wefts across the back of the opposite direction. Doing the background, and I will lift the supplementary warps, petal number 1, and I'll use my novelty yarn to come across on the first throw. Then I'm going to come across with my supplementary worm, with the supplementary warp weft across. Then I come back again with my novelty yarn. And I come back finally with my supplementary weft. It's such a fine groove in order to have good selvage. You have to push it down once and then again the second time. And that completes one turn of the background. Now I'm in the supplemental warp and weft, and I'm doing the pattern. I've already done several rows. As you can see from this previous sheet I showed you, we're first going to pick up the pattern threads. Then we're going to weave across from left to right. We have to pick up the pattern threads and come back with the 2 yarns back the opposite direction. This is how we're going to do it. First I'll elevate shafts 3 and 4, which are our colored yarns, and prop them up with a stick so they stay elevated above the white ones that are the supplemental warps. So these are pattern warps right here. What I'll do is take our stick and try and elevate the pattern threads that I have according to my diagram that's up here. So I'll first take in the first 2. will elevate pairs. Two of them contain one notch on our pattern. So there's, if I'm having two of these blocks, then it's actually four pattern groups of yarn. So I'll begin my pattern. There's the first two. Then I'll skip four more, which four of them, and four, there's two groups of 2 threads, which is 4 threads per block. So I need to go 4 plus 2 times 2 is 8. So I'm going to go 8 over. Then the next two, I will elevate the 2 blocks, which would be 2 groups of 4 threads. So that'd be the next group that I've elevated from my pattern. So in each pattern, there's actually 4 threads. There's 4 of the foundation ones. The supplemental are down below, and I'm not addressing those. These are those white threads down below. So I've got those lowered. I've got shafts 3 and 4 elevated. So one group of 4 foundation threads on 3 and 4 shafts is 1 block on your pattern. So I'm lifting 2 shafts, and there's one part of the reed, and there's another part of the reed. One dent. So there's a dent, 2 dents, 4 of the foundation threads. And that's what I have here, which is a total of 8 yarn threads. Sounds confusing, huh? So then I will proceed all the way across this whole pattern, and I won't bore you with the process of doing that. So here I'm on my last pickups on this row, and I've got 4, I'm going to have to skip 4 blocks, which there's 4 threads and 2 dents per, so that's 4 blocks, which would be 8 dents. Then I would pick up the next 2. So when you look at the actual threads down here, I'm going to count over 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to pick up the next 4, which would be the 2 blocks. Remember, there's 2 dents per square block. Then I have my last of them, and I've got my pickup stick, and you can see I've got now all of my pickups done for that row. Now, as you can see, I've got all my pickups under my sword. Now I'm going to release the number 3 and 4 shafts, so they're down at the same level. Now I'm going to pick up the first pedal, which will pick up those alternating foundation threads and supplemental threads. So now I'm going to do my pickups. Now I'm going to take my novelty yarn and come across, but I have to make a new shed that combines both of these together. So what I will do is so I can get my wider sword in here, pick up these. I've got the first pedal, alternate supplemental warps elevated, and my pattern threads. Now I'm going to come through here and make a new shaft to to where then I can run my shuttle below it. My shuttle's quite thick, so you'll have to pardon my slowly moving this through this thing. And I'm moving my novelty thread through. Then I release the petals, pull out my sword, and pack it in. Now I go to number 3 petal to raise the foundations. So I just did my novelty yarn. Now I'm doing my foundations. So now I'll bring this shuttle across, just like we did at the very beginning before I started the foundations. So that's half of the first. Now I have to go back and pick up the exact same threads and then come back across my novelty yarn and my foundation. Now as you can see, I'm starting to pick up the exact same pickup threads that I did coming across. Now I'm going to have to pick them all up again coming back the other direction. You can see I can actually see which ones to pick up. This group here, this group here, so I know which kind of ones to pick up. But I still do the counting across. So now I'm going to go across and pick up all those same threads that I did the first time coming across. I'm going to have to pick them up going back over the other direction. Now I've finished picking up all the same threads that I had before. The two pickups are identical. The first pickup, we went from left to right with our novelty yellow, and then our foundation, the blue one. Now we're going to go back the other direction. I've got my pickups. This is the last part of it. I'm going to go across with the novelty and foundation again. Now what I'll do is pass the second level to bring up the other. First time we picked up this one with the first petal, and then now we've got the second shaft, the second supplemental, the white threads. So now I press number 2, and now we're going to make a different shed with those. So I'll put this in there to hold it. I'll pick up the white threads and these. Now I want to make another shed with the white and those pickup yarns. I now have a shed with the supplemental warps and my pickups. I'll first come across with the novelty from right to left, and then I'm going to do my blue foundation. We'll be through with one row of our patterns. So I'm going to first come across this. It's such a tight fit, I just push it through. If I had a wider sword, it wouldn't have that problem. Now I'll lift the fourth one, which is half of those foundations. and I'll come across with my shuttle, the foundation. And that completes one row of my pattern. And you see the patterns coming out really good. This is continued throughout the whole pattern until I get to the end of the pattern. Then I'll do the foundation like this on the other end.